And let's just say from a standpoint of, how do I approach a situation when I didn't get this thing I wanted? What would you give him as advice?
You weren't ready for it yet, and that's a slice of humble pie.
Hey, welcome back to the Dark Work Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Trucks. Today, our guest is Brock Domann. Now, all of us live our lives with aspirations to do cool things, and sometimes those big aspirations don't pan out the perfect way, but they sometimes do pan out the perfect way. And so when we are discussing this whole great, I would call it life we unpack today, we're able to dive into some cool things, which is all around how you navigate the ups and downs of life, where you're able to see things in a different light. And I think sometimes we don't see it the light it should be, but Brock does that. He's able to kind of unpack some things in ways that give us new nuances to how we experience our world. One of the things I do like that he took away, or actually I took away from his discussion, was this idea about being QB1, right? You'll hear his journey, his battle about becoming QB1 and now a professional athlete playing overseas. And the idea is it's not just about being QB1 when you are QB1. It's about being that person that can eventually elevate to that, but also being it more than just on a football field. It's about being that QB1 for your marriage and also at some point as a parent, as a business owner, which he also is with Conscious Quarterback. So in today's episode, dive in, take notes, pay attention, because if you do, you'll be able to leave this discussion with a great working model of how you can go into your life and create from a space where honestly you might not have seen some amazing opportunity, but it's always been sitting there. So without further ado, let's hop into the episode. Hey, welcome back to the Dark Work Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Trucks, and today's guest is an individual that actually the last few episodes you've watched, we'll call it a stream of family. There's a reason why I selected these individuals to start this off, because in my dark work journey, I've gone through some things. These people were present in the background, some closer than others, but they're individuals I've watched and admired, had great conversation with them over the years, and so I figured, I want to bring them into the fold early, because it sets a good tone of generational structure, we'll call it, of looking at these different places. So no matter where you are in your life, you'll gain some knowledge from these people. And so today we have my man Brock Domann. How you doing, sir?
Wonderful, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Looking forward to our chat.
Yeah.
First one to wear a different color than black. Hey,
that's right.
Brought the blue. Blue's the color of honesty. Did you know that? It actually is. I only know that because I had to go study stuff for no reason whatsoever, but I know it now. And so as we go into this today, Brock is a journeyman. He played at 5 colleges. He's now a professional player for the Dresden Monarchs in Germany, which my brother was stationed in Germany. Not that it matters at all, but I just want to let you know that. So I guess schnitzel's a thing you'll be eating pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like it's supposed to be like their delicacy. But also on top of that, he's a guy that comes from a great stock of humans, and he's had his own crazy cool experiences. And so as we unpack this today, which is unpacking his story, his life, his dark work experiences, I want you to be able to, one, take a look at this from the side of you, right? It's not just about us talking about him. It's like, what are nuggets and ideas and lessons you can extract? So let's start with this. There's parts of your life that are amazing, right? Parts are not so amazing. I want to start with the amazing parts of your life. What are some moments and things you can think back to where you go gosh, that was some of the coolest things I've experienced?
I'll start with my senior year of high school. We were on a 37-game win streak with my brother.
37 wins?
37 wins in a row.
That's crazy.
And we lost the semifinal at Pine Creek.
Yep.
We lost the semifinal game my junior year, my brother's senior year. And that was supposed to be our year.
Yeah.
For JoJo and I to win state together. And we come back senior year, and our coaches are saying it's a rebuild year. People around the community are saying it's a rebuild year.
Yep.
JoJo's class was the best to ever come through Pine Creek.
Yeah.
So it felt like the fall off was going to start. And for the group of 15 of us seniors, we weren't going to let that happen. And to be able to have a shared vision with men and dudes that I grew up with, and to be able to execute on that perfectly my senior year and win state.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
That's nice. That's a good one.
Another one would be playing in front of 80,000 people at Clemson.
Yeah.
Being able to throw a touchdown at Clemson, and we didn't win the game, but I definitely, in that game, I got to, I think for me, the number one thing that I enjoy is self-actualization. So realizing you are who you say you are.
Okay.
And in some of those moments in that game, I got to prove to myself that I can be with the best of the best.
Yeah.
And it's really inspirational and powerful.
That's a good one, man. I don't want to cut you off, but I do want to cut you off because that is a thing that not a lot of people, there's this desire for a lot of individuals to be in higher level groups, we'll call, climb into a group of better minds or better, earners, whatever it may be. But there is that inherent thing of like, but I won't belong.
Right.
Right. And so there's a
It's
fear
like I want this, but then once you're in that group, almost all of that shadow work that you didn't do of like maybe it was just a mental desire and not a empowered, deeply in your soul desire.
I get it, yeah.
Because when you're in those groups, like, do you become more of who you are, or do you become a shell of who you are?
Yeah. Or do you get found out?
Right. Do you get exposed?
I know you are. Oh, they're going to find I'm not this thing. And so,
Right.
But the other problem is while it may be a fear for that, most people want what these people have. They want to be in that space of, we'll call it, maybe it's materialistic, maybe it's acceptance of self, whatever it is. But there's this thing of I may not fit there, and because I might not fit there, I'm not 100% sure, I won't leave my current tribe, which I know I don't belong in.
Right.
And the fear is being cast out from your tribe and having no tribe. So people stay stuck in these places. So when you do talk about this, realizing you belong there, this self-actualization, that's a big thing that I don't know if everybody gets to experience in life, unfortunately.
100%.
Yeah.
I think when you're really on this self-growth journey, you want to be exposed.
Yeah, it's true.
Because you got nothing to hide.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not attached to the ego. You aren't the ego anymore. You're the
Right.
person that the ego is peeking away at, or call it, or like letting the real guy build throughout. That's also not easy for folks, right? Because that means you got to take a little chink in the armor, and no one wants to take a chink in the armor. And I did cut you off a moment ago. I didn't mean to, but you were kind of going the discussion of like you had that moment. There was one more you think you wanted to allude to?
Yeah, the last one would be, this is a culmination of moments, but some of the shared experiences I've had with families in Louisville when I've built this quarterback business that I have.
Yeah. Was it called Conscious Quarterback, you said?
Conscious Quarterback, yeah. Seeing how much my journey and who I've become can help relate and be impactful to young kids and even families and their parents in different communities. And I plan on wherever I play, which is going to be all around the world, to be able to really get into the communities, because when you help others, they help you. And being intricately involved in a community at Louisville was extremely impactful for my life.
Yeah, that's big, man. Well, I think communities, we all need that.
Right.
I always talk, so one time I went on a podcast with a buddy, and he goes, if you could snap your fingers, what would happen? Like for the world to change? And I go, we would go back to tribal days. He goes, what are you talking about? And I go, well, think about it. I live in a neighborhood. I don't know anybody 3 houses down. Like the 3rd house down, I don't know. 2 houses, yeah, but 3, don't know. And I go, but back in the day, there was just these huts, and everybody would come to the same fire. We'd cook together, sing together, talk together, have these conversations. We knew everybody, and then we would go to our huts, and you go to sleep, and the whole day was spent in community, every single thing. And there was this joy you could see, like, because the tribes that still do it, when we're not trying to bother them, right? There's this joy they have, and so I go, that is the feeling I would like to have. Now I do like my iPad and my phone, so a little different.
Yeah.
But the idea of the community is a big piece.
I watched this episode of Zac Efron. He now has his own show, and one of the episodes he was in Costa Rica, and he got involved with this community down there of 70 families from I think 30 different countries that all decided to move to Costa Rica around the same time.
Sounds about right.
And they have this community where they live off the land. They even have their own waste system. They eat breakfast and dinner together. Everything they eat's from Costa Rica. I mean, it's just unbelievable, what they do, and everyone seems so joyful. Now, it's a lot simpler, right? They don't have all that stuff that we have, and maybe their business isn't thriving as much as there's certain things that give and take, but I'm obsessed with community. I think that's what we all truly desire.
Yeah, you make so these thoughts are making ideas pop in my head. There was one time I heard somebody talking to the aspects of technology, and this is I guess a sidebar, but this is how conversations go, right? they're talking the aspects of society in a sense of the things that we create and how they create us. So like the idea that we created these phones that now keep our faces down so we have bad necks, or computers you get round. You never had that before. You didn't have rounded shoulders or bad neck, you know. And so we create these things that create us. And so it's like, did we create the thing that was going to help us be better or worse? Well, we think it's beneficial. All it does is give the dopamine, you know, in our brain a little dump and some more serotonin. We feel better, but was it really better for us, you know? Because talk to these little groups of people, which they're these like, you know, these, I don't know if they call them, not compounds, there's some kind of name they have for them, sustainable communities where like they are joyous and they are happy. Are they really lacking anything? They create something that's creating a different sense of, and really at the end of the day, we're just a collection of emotional feelings and experiences of life. So it's a good thought to talk about. But here's the thing, at some point in time, you aspired to have what you have now. You aspired to be a football player, win the state championship, all those kind of things. Take me back to a time when that was just a thought or an idea, in a sense of what was life like? What were you experiencing? What did you see? Because you come from a family that you got some activity going, right? Mom did some cool things, working for the Olympics. Your dad works for professional athletes. Like, what was life like back then when you were kind of looking at like these aspirations for yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question. My journey is unique because I'm the fifth and final of the Domanns, and as you know, my family is extremely inspiring in so many ways, and so I've kind of always wanted to keep up, be part of the crew, right? Not be the one that's slacking behind.
Black sheep kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I've always naturally had that ambition because, like, I mean, I came into the world and everyone in front of me is already like doing amazing things, like my mom and my dad, and then obviously JoJo and Riley like killed it through their whole childhood too of everything they did. So it was kind of just like, hey, this is what you do. Yeah. And I was also just naturally a really big dreamer. I think one moment that really changed my life forever is, and I don't know, I think this was before maybe you were in the NFL. My dad took all of his clients, which at the time were like 50, and did a trip in Cabo.
Oh, I didn't get the Cabo trip, man.
Right.
Where's my Cabo trip?
Right.
I didn't get that.
And he took JoJo and I, and man, we played ping pong with everyone. We were out on the boat with everyone, and I just saw all of his clients in one space in Cabo, this beautiful resort. And I mean, I was maybe like 5. Like, I was really young. Yeah. And I just saw freedom. I saw inspiration. I saw just like high-level people, high-level conversations, like high-character people. Yeah. And something in me clicked of like, this is like what I want to do. Gotcha. So I think for me, a big thing has been freedom. Because like, you can have all the wealth in the world, but if you're trading time for money, are you really wealthy?
Yeah, are you really free?
Right, are you really free? So for me, I'm really inspired by my sister because, she doesn't have the most wealth in the world, but she lives her life like a billionaire. Yeah. Like, she does what she wants, when she wants, how she wants to. She has an online business, and she's in Mexico right now. Yeah. Like, she does what she wants on a day-to-day basis, and that, to me, is what I want.
Yeah, I like it. But then it's interesting because at the same time, we don't have a ton of freedom when we're playing sports, right?
Right.
Kind of a
especially at a Power 5 program where they got you locked up 11 months out of the year.
If you don't mind, like, so we know, can you list out the colleges you played for? Like, because you said, I said journeyman, you said it. People are probably like, what's a journeyman? Like, he's learned to be an electrician? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, so in 2017, I graduated high school. I gray-shirted at Ventura College in 2018 because they had 2 bounce-back quarterbacks, one from USC and one from Fresno State. So I wasn't going to play that year. So they gave me the option to either gray shirt or red shirt, and gray shirting would still allow my clock not to start. So I'd still have 5 to play 4. So at 18 years old, I had the decision to play the long game, and thankfully I trusted my intuition and I took that. So I gray shirted, just trained and had a blast in Southern California at Ventura College, which is like 45 minutes north of LA. Yeah. And then the second year, D1 bounce back didn't come in, so I actually got an opportunity to play. So at the quarterback position, you really need to catch breaks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've really learned in order to, just
Well,
like how Brock Purdy,
Yeah.
right, he should have never played.
Mm-hmm.
Caught a break.
Yeah.
So I caught a break that second year, played, took him all the way to the national championship game. We sadly lost, came down to the last drive. Got a scholarship the next day to Campbell University, who the head coach was Mike Minner. Thought, man, this is my shot. Like, it's a D1 program. Yeah, it's not Power 5, but like my dad represented the head coach. Like, I'm gonna have favor, right? I'm gonna play, like, da-da-da. So I go, and ends up redshirting me, ends up putting me in the last on the depth chart, ends up not really talking to me. The relationship just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So it was evident that I needed to move on. So I put my name in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And no one picked me up, so I went back to a junior college in California.
Mm-hmm.
COVID hit, so I was only there for 3 months.
Yeah.
Never played for them.
Mm-hmm.
Had to go to a different junior college because California JUCOs got shut down.
I remember, yeah.
So then I went to a junior college in Kansas, was an All-American that spring season, and then got to Louisville.
Yeah.
So, been crazy journey, but
That's the flow, man.
yeah.
The thing is, there are some people who I went and give a speech one time in, I think it was North Dakota somewhere, and I at one point I was like 100 kids, and I go, how many of you guys have traveled, like been on an airplane? And like 6 kids raised their hand.
That's nuts.
I was like, how many have been like 100 miles from here? Like maybe 50. Like, so like a lot of people don't get around in life, and they statistically you will die within a certain mileage of your home of where you were born. So like most people don't leave the area. So to go out and live a life and the cultures and different experiences and the people, because what people don't hear within that is you had to go somewhere and meet people for the first time and then perform physically and mentally and take care of school and meet the coach and your new teammates and then say bye to them and do it again and again, right? And there's a lot in there that it is hard for people to do it one time, let alone do it 5 times before they're 20-some years old. Like, so you've got a lot in there, man.
Being the new guy is not fun at all.
No, it never is.
No.
Until you learn to do it well.
Right.
my life now, I travel and hop on planes and I meet people every single day, and so like I gotta meet you new. But the new guy in the room, like you got to find out how to gauge the space. But I think you do garner some interesting intangibles, like the way to communicate, how to feel a room and then feel what the room needs, and then add that to the room so the room likes you.
Right.
It's a weird little dance, but it's what we all have to do. So for you get to the point of eventually, like now you're a professional athlete, you're gonna go play, at a higher level. I'm sure along the journey at some point in time you're like, gosh, I want to keep doing this. Like, it had to have happened at some point. I don't know maybe how at one point I was my rookie year, I'm like, I don't want to do this, man. Like, I want to go home. Thankfully, I had a guy named Eric Vance catch me in some weird tournament bouts. I think God put him in front of me and like it stopped that. But it's that moment. But there were some things he said that made me press through. Like he gave me some language of, what are you going to tell your son in 20 years when he knows you quit? I was like, ooh, like, okay. So it locked me back in, and I needed that. For you, where's a moment in time where you had to have like that internal conversation?
Honestly, this past season, I would say, because I already went through a crap ton of adversity before Louisville, but I was so like hell bent on like getting into a Power 5 program, like that self-actualization that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't really ever consider quitting until I'd already started, won a bowl game, realized that I am who I say I am, and then going into my senior year, just played my junior year thinking I'm going to build off of it, and then they bring in a transfer and I don't play a single game my senior year. To me, that was, I've questioned everything in my life. Not just football, just like everything got turned on its head when that happened, because you build, and you've been stomped on along the way, but then you feel like you finally break through, and then you break through, and then you feel like you're going back to stage one, step one. To me, that was the moment this year, my senior year, because also then it's like, okay, you're getting out of college. Hey, let's get realistic. Like, maybe you should go into real estate. Maybe you should do insurance. Maybe maybe this football thing ain't for you. Like, you didn't even play your senior year.
Yeah.
So for me, it was this past season.
Gotcha. And then you obviously proceeded to keep playing, right? When you started having that idea of like, all right, I'm going to keep going, what was the next steps for you? What essentially what I want to know is, did you chart out like, all right, I'm in this is what I'm going to do? Or you kind of like, let's just see what happens kind of thing?
I've definitely been like, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
I think what's beautiful about God is that when you just focus on your day-to-day, and for me, something I've really found that's super important is like, I need to be doing things that I have a lot of fun in. When I have fun, I have this, like, my higher self comes online. I just have this high level of beingness when I am attacking something that's fun. And football has always been fun for me. So for me, I knew if the opportunity presented itself, I would still love to play because I truly have such a genuine love for the game. Being a quarterback, I mean, it's different every day. It's not like I'm blocking the same right tackle over and over again. It's like there's so much flavoring to quarterback. So it's always fun to continue to reinvent myself. So for me, I just started having fun. I went to Tulum with my siblings. Then I went to Panama with my brother, and I got the call for Germany in Panama. And to me, it was just like a sign of like,
universe going, hey, I got you.
Right, like, hey, like, I got you. Like, go have fun, go do you. Like, I needed a break from ball. Like, just don't even think about it. Like, when I got that call, I had no clue if I was ever gonna play football again.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Because you ended up getting the call, and you're gonna get to go play. And I do know that there is, I think you said the word beauty to like letting things flow. Because sometimes there's a space where people plan too much. I'm big on actually designing a structure, so having some kind of a plan. Because I think we can't be, we'll call it, committed to an emotion. You get disciplined to an emotion, you're gonna fall. So you get disciplined to a plan, you're good. But I think there is something to going like, you know what, I'm gonna let things unfold. And really sometimes, I actually started saying this, I said, I don't wanna mess up the plan with my plan. And so that kind of gave me some like, all right, maybe I'm not supposed to do one plan. I got some ideas and direction, but only somebody else chart this path. I do want to go into how this is unfolding for you, but we're going to take a quick break. I want to let you guys hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with my man, Brock Domann.
Where are you falling short of your full potential in life, and what is it costing you? See, one thing we rarely measure is the cost of our inaction. See, there's so many things set for your life that if you don't lean in and get them done, they're going to pass you by. And the truth is, it's not because you don't know what to do. It's because you are not at the level to do it. You cannot attain or sustain a vision for your life above your current identity. But what is your current identity? What should you do to make a shift in that identity? Well, the goal is you have to do the dark work, but the right dark work. To figure out where your identity is now and what dark work you must do, go to darkworkassessment.com, take the assessment, and let it clear the path for you so you can find out how to shift into your dominator's identity with a mentality of, I have done too much work in the dark to lose in the light. darkworkassessment.com, figure out where you're at. Let's get back to the episode.
Hey, welcome back. We're here with Brock Domann. We're going deeper into the journey, which is this man's life. And so we've been discussing a lot of things that have to do with him. And honestly, getting a call when he was in Panama to go play professionally in Germany. And it was actually on the cusp of him not knowing whether or not he was going to continue to keep playing or not playing. So now we're in this space and you get this call. And I kind of want to figure out how has things unfolded since then, right? Were you prior to that, like kind of not training? Are you back in training now? Is it like how is that kind of working itself through at this moment?
Yeah, so my life's been very interesting as of late because I was always really good at like, whenever an expert or a coach or my dad or somebody would give me a plan of action or advice or coaching, I would take it full force in and truly try to apply it. Well, when I didn't play my senior year, all that fell to the wayside, and all the advice that had ever been given, I kind of just like let it go. Not because it wasn't wisdom and insight, but I think what God's really been calling me to do is like find my own intuition and to really find my own path and plan for myself. And so once the season ended in Louisville, I did take some time off training, And I've really just been taking a deep dive within myself of like, I really do believe in structure, but first the structure had to fall apart. And I'm now incrementally trying to rebuild that for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did take about 6 weeks off, but I've been training now for the last 3 weeks, and I've been so much more fresh and ready to go.
Yeah.
And with a renewed spirit, and knowing that I'm going to be the guy in Germany is
That feel good.
brought so much back within me that, man, my training's so much more quality than it would have been if I would have just been aimlessly training.
Yeah, yeah. But the absence makes the heart grow fonder a little bit, right, sometimes.
May I interrupt? Sorry. His mic is kind of tucking in a little bit.
Oh, no worries.
That's okay. All right. Sorry.
Good. So yeah, so sometimes like, there's that idea of like absence makes the heart grow fonder. So you have this feeling of like it's not there, and then when it comes back, it's like a new renewed energy for it, which is I think necessary and cool. I'm actually wondering, when you get the call, was it pure excitement from the moment, or was it like, oh my gosh, I'm about to go to Germany? Like, was there ever a thought in there of like a little apprehension to it?
Definitely there was some apprehension, just because also like it wasn't my dream.
Okay,
Like,
unpack that.
My dream's always been to play at the highest level.
Yeah.
And so a part of me was obviously super excited,
Yeah.
but then there's this other part of me that had to die for a second of just like, I mean, I knew I wasn't going to the NFL when you don't play your senior year, but I was actually training and looking for, the USFL or the Canadian League, right? And so for me, it was very much out of left field, and that's how God has always worked with me, is he always moves in my blind spot. I never once thought about the German Football League.
I didn't know they had
Right.
German football, to be honest. I was like, oh, it's dope. But I just said, scratch that. I have heard of it for sure. I used to have Europe, league and everything, so I knew it existed, but I hadn't heard of it for a long time, I think is probably the best way to say it.
Right, but when I actually sunk into it and really saw the opportunity, I mean, their work-life balance is amazing. We're going to be practicing 3 days a week, and they encourage travel, which I'm just so excited that it
cool.
gets
Let's
to
see,
be more than just football.
Yeah.
Which is like honestly exactly where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
It's like I absolutely love and adore football and will put everything into it, but also there's this human part of me that just got out of college, that was just in the structure of a Division I program, like that is desiring that freedom that I'm going to be able to express. I think too, I get to skip all the like underwear football BS that happens before the NFL.
Yeah.
Combine,
All of it, I remember.
all that
Cattle
stuff,
prodding.
right?
I did all that. Yeah.
Right. That's not my game.
Yeah.
I'm just a ball player.
I get you.
I get out there and I'm gonna win games, right? And so, to me, it's a huge blessing, and I've always been developing maybe slower than what other people would say a quarterback needs to develop as, but I'm always where I end up wanting to be.
Yeah.
So I think for me, this is just JUCO all over again.
Okay.
Right? It's like another opportunity to develop myself and to have a experience that is once in a lifetime. And then from here, this will catapult me into either more football, or this will allow for an amazing conclusion and closure to my football career. Because, the biggest thing I said my senior year when I wasn't playing was like, my journey is not a sob story. This is a victor's journey.
Yeah.
And I think so many guys end football not on their own terms, and I've always wanted to do that. It's like, you know what, this thing has helped me and shaped me into who I am today, and I'm not going to leave it like resentful with it. I'm not going to leave it like hurt and disappointed with it, which so many guys I've seen over the years have done that.
Oh, I left not on my own journey. Like I went out on an injury, and then I was like, I don't want to watch football for like 3 years.
Right.
I was like, because every time I turn on, I go like, I could be doing that still, Until I got too old, and I was like, I can't do it. I can watch it now, But there is that. It's sometimes something's removed from you before you want it. But there is. I like the way I hear it within you, which is there's an opportunity you may not see yet, right? I found that like as I go down life, every time I enter something with this, it's not going to be good. Like, it's not going to be good. But when I look at it and go, like, there's something here, right? I'll find it. The brain will find what we train it to go find. And so I like that you're training it to go find something unique, because there are a lot of people don't do that, man. They everything is like pulling teeth. If they don't want to do it, then why am I right? And it's like, just do it with joy, man. If you do it with joy and embrace it, something's going to pop up that you had no idea existed, which I think really is the beauty of life. There's this journey I find that we go down of wanting to find a purpose, right? And the journey for me, it starts at a space of curiosity, which is like, I'm curious about this thing. I didn't know it existed before. This is awesome, right? Like, I didn't know the German football. Like, I'm curious about this. And then as you get curious, you actually, because of the curiosity, will give it more mental focus. It gets more time. I pay attention a little bit more than I used to. And then because I'm now investing, there's that investment bias feeling, which is like, oh, I like this. And the more I like this thing, I get a little more passionate about it, because it's a confidence cycle. I'm more confident about it. I'm more competent, and I flow into it. Now I have a sense of like passion. And I think passion puts us in a pathway where we stumble into a pothole of purpose. Like, I land, I was like, oh, I didn't know this existed. So maybe you go to Germany, you're like, become like the Schnitzel King, you know, like,
Right.
just saying, maybe you don't do that.
Anything can happen over there,
That's
yeah.
the idea, but I
Right.
love that you're open to it. And as you go out there's got to be also, as you're thinking about it, what are some things that, I just want to know, what are you like excited about? I get the idea of travel, I get the idea of that, going to be the guy to go do it. Is there anything that pops out to you as something optimistic, or is there anything like you're looking at going like, I hope this doesn't happen, maybe some fear around something at all?
Yeah, what I'm honestly really excited for is that I get to come in and be myself, because I've always been QB1. Just that's how I live my life. That's kind of the mindset I have waking up, is like, I'm the QB1 of my own life.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I started my own business, right? No one can bench you starting your own business, right?
True.
Right. So
Except for your clients.
that's true. But for me, it's an opportunity to be a more full expressed version of myself over there. I get to experience different people and cultures, which is just going to help shape me into a more open and like broader version of myself that I never knew existed, which I'm super excited for. I think I'm excited to just be a part of something that means so much to that community. Like, I've really looked into it now, obviously, that I'm going, and like, it's so big over there. Like, it really is, to these cities and to these communities, to be able to come in and have a shared vision with men and go after a common goal. Like, there's nothing like that.
Yeah, I agree, man. There's something cool about the idea of camaraderie, community. We had mentioned before, that kind of community feeling, and then pulling in the same direction is always kind of cool. It's kind of an awesome thing. And you will have struggles. That's kind of the part of life as you battle through it. But I do want to touch back to a place which maybe we haven't gone into yet, and maybe it's floating in the kind of segments of what we talk to. But this whole thing's about the dark work we do, right? The things we tuck into that maybe nobody saw or celebrated. Is there some place you can think to, a time, a window, when like you were actually subjected into like this moment of time where like it was just drudgery? I'll call it your darkest hours, right? It was this thing. I mean, not to questioning if you want to play or not per se, but like the part where you did it and when you emerged the backside, it actually has given you a lot more pride and drive.
I would say my time at Campbell.
Okay.
The reason why is I put on a pedestal and idolized playing Division I football for a while, because you know, my brother out of high school was very highly recruited, and I was also a very highly talented high school player that knew I could play with the best of them, and didn't get that opportunity at high school. So I had this chip on my shoulder of like already feeling jaded, and then having to wait, you know, a year and a half until I even get to Campbell. And once I get there, you know, FCS ball, like, you get to say you play Division I football, but like, it's not FBS ball. You're not on stipend, so I'm still broke. It's, you know, everyone thinks they should be at the Power 5 level, so there's a bunch of arrogance and kind of that going on in the locker room. And it was just nothing of like what I thought Division I football would be. So I got to where the promised land I had in my head. And it was just desert land.
Interesting.
And then also, you know, just everything I said earlier about how I thought I was going to have favor with the head coach for the obvious reasons. And then for him to kind of see that dreamer in me, and see the, I was roommates with the two best guys on the team. One's a tight end for the Dolphins right now, and the other one was a 3-time All-American in FCS. And like I earned the respect of my teammates, like I did all the little things right, and then a dude that I was supposed to have favor with just totally like, opposite.
Yeah.
So to me, that was easily my darkest hours, because then also I put my name in the portal thinking, oh, like I'm a Division I quarterback, like I'll get picked up.
Yep.
Silence.
Yeah.
So that winter break when I was in the portal, like my brother and my dad literally sat me down. They're like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, you haven't been training, you've just been partying, like you've just been like doing anything but football. I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to find like myself again. Like I lost all joy for life, like the saltiness of life, like, right?
Yeah.
Was gone, and I just like totally was so lost.
Yeah.
And for me, what came of that was just like the resolve that I have today, and seeing how much God has provided when it looks like literally not, like, again, like it looked like I wasn't going to play football, and now I'm playing in Germany.
Yeah.
In that situation, like the most humbling thing that I've ever had to do is like, I was at junior college the first time, and I remember there was like, 21, 22-year-olds there, and I judged the crap out of them. I was like, man, this is a 2-year institution. Like, what are they doing here? Yeah. Like, y'all are wasting your career away. Like, da-da-da. And then I was that 21, 22-year-old that was back in junior college.
Yeah. So,
right?
Face to face with
so God has humbled me so many times along this journey. And with that, like, I'm just so blessed that I've been able to be corrected and humbled by him, because it just like brings out, if you allow it and you continue to, push.
Lean back in.
It just brings out all the best qualities that only take certain situations that are going to bring it out of you, which is like grit, perseverance, determination, all those things. You can pray for that all you want, but he's not going to give it to you. You have to go through certain things to
develop it all.
Develop it.
That's what the dark work is, man. It's that,
right.
that you go through the harder, darker things, develop the grit, the pride, all that. If you don't go through it, you don't get that. You don't have what you need later on. But the sad part is knowing how many people that are in this world that are in that same place of not having what they wanted, being aware of that, as opposed to facing it. They distract themselves with things that don't help: sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever it is, right? And then what happens is that becomes their identity now. The more you do something, the more you become that. And then they have to protect that with their ego, with the actions, and they have to keep doing it because, and then all of a sudden, like, they have those wake-up moments. I call them midlife crises. That's what everybody calls them. So they go 20 years doing this, 30 years doing this, and I go, what's going on? And all of a sudden they wake up, and it's like, yeah, but if you just listen to somebody, which could have been inner you back in the day, could have been better. So I'm glad that you actually were like able to have people sit you down and talk to you. And what's crazy is everybody has that person. There's a coach or someone in your life that'll tell you this. You just go, nah, I don't want to hear you. And they cut them off.
Right.
Which is wild to me, because I go, this person went out of their way to give you some insights that could help you be better, whether it was a spouse or a colleague or I've had friends that when I was in my craziness, like, hey, dude, this is not you to do this. Thankfully, I listened to them, right? But if I didn't, here's the thing that people don't realize is the people that are close to you, if you don't listen to them, when they give you love, which is, they call it tough love, it's really love. It's to tell you the thing you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Not only do you not actually make your life better, but you cut off a source of great love and a resource that can help you be better. Because they go, well, shoot, I already talked to them. They don't want to hear it. Why even give energy to someone who doesn't want to hear it?
Right.
And so thankfully you did pay attention, worked yourself somewhere, because then what happens is what could have been an amazing cause for negative is now an amazing reason for positive. And I think that's a beautiful place for us to be operating and functioning in. So now as you kind of see yourself building and succeeding, we get ourselves back to a point, I think, if it's like a false summit. You live by the incline, and I hate that false summit. The first time I did that incline, bro, I was like, what is this? We're done. Nope. You're like, I'm halfway there. And I find life is a bunch of false summits. Not to say anything negative about like this, but you do climb a mountain just to see the next mountain.
100%.
And then what happens is you see a new aspiration. So you're at this point of like, you've climbed some mountains. You got a mountain on your arm there, right? And so now you're in a position of look at the next mountain. What are you excited about this next climb, right? I get that you want to go and support these people, but there's got to be a party that goes, I got a vision for this and beyond this. And I'd love to know what that is.
You're 100% right on that next climb, because before I speak on Germany, I remember so distinctly receiving that offer to Louisville that changed my life. And maybe 24 hours later, I'm already like so locked in on like, all right, now I need to be the starter. Like, now I need to do this, 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 and this. And like, I didn't celebrate that mountaintop moment for maybe a glimpse. And then I was already on to like, I already set the next mountaintop. So for Germany, what I'm setting out to do is really just like dive deep into myself even more. I've seen how much that has helped me the last couple of years. And for me, that's what life's all about. Like, you know, everything's temporary, but I really believe who you are stays with you after this lifetime. So I'm really interested in continuing to develop who I am as a soul, because that character that I build from this opportunity with Germany is going to help me become a better father, better husband. It's just going to help me out later in life, which I've just seen how already what I did when I was 18, 19, 20, 21 has helped me who I am today. So for me, my mountaintops are so much different than they used to be. It used to be, you know, let's be the MVP, let's be the champion, let's be this, let's be that. Of course, is one of my main goals to go over there and win a championship, 100%. With that being said, I just have such a different perspective on like football helps you, like exposes you, right? When you're out there on that field, you can't hide. So who you are and your preparation and everything like that, like if I didn't watch film, right, it's going to show. So that's what I crave about football. That's what I crave about that I get to go out to Germany and I get to be exposed again, week in and week out, of just like everything I put in the dark. You know, my senior year, like a lot of people don't know, like I didn't just like, when I didn't get the starting job, I didn't just fold my senior year. Like I, week in and week out, put in the time, put in the intention, put in the effort, hired a mentor, like went all in on myself to maybe, you know, have that break, and that break didn't happen, and that's okay, because I got a different break going to Germany, right? So just seeing how everything always pays off of what you do in the dark.
Because if you didn't, let's say, stay ready, so you got to get ready, right?
Right.
So if you're not ready, then that opportunity comes. There might be fear around it. I had somebody recently reach out to me. The guy, he used to play football, and then he got this opportunity to be around a professional boxer. Can't tell you the names. I honestly don't know. Not that I can't tell you. I just don't recall the names. I'm not a boxing aficionado. But he has this discussion. He goes, you know, I went to this thing and I did a couple rounds, and like they thought it was great. And then I was like, oh, awesome. They're like, he's like, they may bring me on and like train me. And I go, yeah, it's beautiful. I go, so why are you calling me? He goes, well, I went to a different gym to kind of get some work, and I got my butt handed to me. And he goes, so I'm trying to see like, how do I get out of this so I don't look too bad? And I go, oh, no. What are you talking about, bro? I was like, you don't back out of it because you might look bad. You figure out where you might look bad, and you lean 7,000 times more into it to figure out how to make sure that that is never a thing you're afraid of having an issue with. So you don't call me to give you words to get out. I said, you call me to figure out how to be able to lean back in. And so what you're telling me is what I think a lot of people don't actually do or don't actually think about, which is you go, this faltered where I could have a reason to go backwards and go sideways, and I may be afraid of this opportunity. Because you leaned into something and kept training, when the opportunity came, you didn't want to lean out. You're like, I can lean in.
Right.
I got this, right? And that's a dancing place that so many people, I think, that walk our earth every single day, that have a joy and aspiration. If that thing landed in front of you right now, I don't think you'd be happy to take it. The dream you want right now may not be the thing you want because you aren't prepared for it. And that's because you didn't do the dark work in the background. So if you don't do it, man, the opportunity could actually be a humongous fear for you. And so I think a lot of folks need to hear what you're saying, which is like, hey, it didn't go right for me, but I didn't go left. I stayed right back in it.
Yeah, to add on that, two things that I've really honed in on just recently is expression and embodiment. So that's the two main things that I'm going to take into Germany is I want to express the fullest of everything that God created me to be, which is an amazing person, quarterback coach in the community, and then, QB1 for Germany, and go win some freaking ball games. But then second is like, in the dark, in all the free time that I'm going to have, to truly embody that. So when, this is a stage, right? So everything I did up into this podcast, like I get the embodiment of who I am today is expressing out.
Yeah.
So to me, it's really just this inside out game of focus on embodiment, and then when it's time to express fully. And my avenue of wanting to do that is through football.
Yeah. And then at some point it'll change.
Right.
Hopefully a long time from now, but at some point it'll change. But you have the tools in place because you've been developing, and you just reapply the same tools to something else. Like, it's kind of the nature of it. Like, if you think about the tools that I have, they can fix my garage, my car, my lawnmower, like all these different things, but it's the same tool because I have the tool. So for life, if we end up developing these tools the way you're talking about, I think what happens is life becomes actually a lot more fun than it actually is more, scary and crazy. If you were to have somebody, pop into your inbox or DM or something, go, hey, man, Brock, I see what you've gone through. I'm battling through some stuff. And let's just say from a standpoint of, how do I approach a situation when I didn't get this thing I wanted? What would you give them as advice?
You weren't ready for it yet. And that's a slice of humble pie. Because God gives you things when you're ready for them. And it's actually such a blessing that it's delayed, because then if you truly hunker down and go 10 toes in, when it does come later on, you're going to be that much more grateful for it. You're going to be able to soak it in that much more. There's so many things that I would have taken for granted. Just seeing how I was at, 16, 17, 18, if I would have got, Louisville right out of high school, I never would have played. I wasn't developed into the man and quarterback that I needed to be. Yeah. And that's a tough thing to actually look at, because I was such a dreamer, and I still am. And I've always thought I'm a lot better than I actually am. So what I would say to that person is, like, take a step back, like really actually look at yourself. How are you actually? Not who you think you want to be or who you tell your friends you are, right? It's like really humble yourself, see where you're really at, see what's the gap between who you are now and who's that guy that then is in the embodiment of that dream, and become that. And obviously that's a lot easier said than done, but when you write down what you truly want, and then you write out, the most important part is not what you truly want, it's when you write out what type of person and what kind of daily habits does that person have to be in a day-to-day basis of that guy who has that dream, and to live that out. And I'm still working on that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
There's always new things that pop up, but I agree, man. There's essentially, it's like when they say, if you want to fall in love, right, with the right person, become that person.
100%, right.
It's like I got to do the things that bring that to me, and sometimes it comes when you don't expect it in a good way, and sometimes when you want it, it's not the time for it. So I love that perspective, man. I've got some good nuggets here, and I appreciate you coming and sharing your heart,
of course,
and all the stuff you do. Those of you guys who are tuned in, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Where would I send people that want to be able to follow your journey?
Yeah, I got a website, brockdomann.com, or Instagram, bdomann19.
bdomann19, that's 2 N's, and Brock is BROCKDOMANN.com. But yes, again, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Here's the thing, you listen to this whole conversation. If you want to make amazing, vast change for your life, it's not going to happen because you listened. It's going to happen because you acted. There's a lot of ways you can act, but I'm going to tell you some things that I looked at from our discussion, which was pretty cool. I love the idea that he talks through. If you look at some blessing you don't have, it might have been that you weren't ready for it, right? And sometimes we have to own that. Like, I wasn't ready for the thing that came towards me. Much as I hate that it's not in here, like maybe it gives you the moment you need to go towards another thing that opens up a new opportunity in the future. But this was a reason for you to get better. So lean into that. He talks about freedom, inspiration, and having high character being the things that for him were aspirations that I think a lot of us, we talk about but don't always live. So he saw this when he was with his parents, in, was it Cabo? I think Cabo San Lucas. And I think that's true. Sometimes we have to get around these things to really immerse ourselves and see and feel like that's what that looks like. And so maybe you got to go jump into a group of humans that maybe you don't feel like you belong, but being around that gets you to raise your level of expectation. I know there's that great statement that says, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. I actually think it's partially a lot true, but there's a piece missing. I think you're the average of the expectations of the 5 people you surround yourself with. If I have high expectations within my peer group to raise levels, we raise levels. But if we're all content here, we stay here. That's why you could love your friends that are great, but if you're all robbing banks, not a good group to be with, right? The idea is raise the elevated level. So those things are some cool opportunities, I think, things that I took away as ideas that you should be able to take too. And I think one of the things he said is earlier is that opportunity wasn't the dream. Meaning, sometimes we'll have these dreams like the NFL he had, but the opportunity that he actually has was not the dream. But sometimes the things that we want, we do get in life and we go, I don't even want this, right? Like you fight for this job, but you get the job and go, God, I never see my family anymore. I don't like this, right? So the idea is sometimes the opportunity you have becomes the dream in time, but only if you give it the energy it's supposed to have and you don't show up with this lackluster energy like some would do when they don't get what they want. So approach life with a vastly different perspective, because what you have inside of your life right now might be a problem to your mind, but it might be an opportunity for your future. So if you gain some knowledge like I have gained some knowledge, go apply that stuff. Make sure you go and subscribe to the podcast, rate, review, and if you heard something that you know somebody else needs to hear, but you are too close for them to hear you, plant the seed by sending this right to them. Click the link, put it in the email, you can send it in their DM, whatever you want to do, get it out to the world. Outside of that, go into the world and do that dark work so you can win in the light. It's Anthony Trucks and Brock Domann signing out.